In our previous video, we saw the rules and regulations of UAV in India part 1. Now let us move on to part 2. Remote Pilot Training Organization. Any person who wants to obtain the authorization to establish a remote pilot training organization should first submit the Form D5 to the DGCA on Digital Sky platform along with the specified fees. The authorized RPTO will get a free hand to collaborate with foreign entities while ensuring strict compliance with the requirements specified by the DGCA in respect to training syllabus, infrastructure, instructors, and equipment. 23 remote pilot training organizations have been set up by entities under government or private ownership as of 2022. Few of them are mentioned in the table, like in Jharkhand, Alchemist Aviation Private Limited, Gujarat, Blue Ray Aviation Private Limited, Uttar Pradesh, Dronacharya Drone Academy LLP, Tamil Nadu, CASR Anna University, Punjab, Drone Destination Private Limited, Haryana, Ganapati Aviation Solution, Madhya Pradesh, Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Udan Academy, Uttar Pradesh, Pioneer Flying Academy Private Limited, Karnataka Flytech Aviation Academy, and many more. Remote pilot certification is required for commercial drone flying in India. It is issued by the DGCA through drone training institutions for pilots who have undergone the required training. It is equivalent to driver's license for a bike or car. A nano and micro drone can be operated without a remote pilot certification for non-commercial purposes. A remote pilot license shall specially mention the category, subcategory, and classification of the unmanned aircraft system and the combination of these. Eligibility. An individual will be able to obtain the remote pilot license if he or she is not less than 18 and not above 65 years of age, should have passed the 10th examination or equivalent from the recognized board, has successfully completed the training specified by the DGCA from an authorized remote pilot training organization. Remote pilot license shall be valid only if it is enlisted on the Digital Sky platform, unless suspended or cancelled or remain valid for a period of 10 years, shall be renewed by the DGCA for such period may be specified then subject to a maximum period of 10 years on payment of fees. There are two types of pilot certification. CAT1 is to fly commercially within visual line of sight, and CAT2 is to fly commercially beyond visual line of sight. No remote pilot license shall be required for operating a nano unmanned aircraft system, operating a micro unmanned aircraft system for commercial purposes. The process for applying is to enroll in a training institute and complete the required training in a preferred category. On behalf of the trainee, the training institute applies for the certification of DGCA through the Digital Sky platform. Manufacturing requirements. To own, operate, or manufacture drones in India, they must ensure that the company must be registered and have its principal place of business in India. The chairman and at least two-thirds of the company's directors must be citizens of India. Mandatory parts and components should be present in UAV are global navigation satellite system, autonomous flight termination system or return to home option, geofencing capability, flashing anti-collision strobe lights, flight controller, reliable command and control link, real-time tracking system, barometric equipment with capability for remote subscale setting, detect and avoid, manufacturer serial number, fire resistant identification plate for engraving the UIN, flight data logging capability, secondary surveillance radar transponder and two-way communication system and 360-degree collision avoidance system. Manufacturing procedure. Create a prototype of drone. A working model of the drone is to be made and submitted for type certification to the DGCA. Approval from authorities would mean that a manufacturer would be able to sell his or her drones for commercial purposes and UIN should be issued against the drone model. Safety features in the drone. The central government recommends and promotes the use of made in India components and Indian regional navigation systems on the UAV. Other safety features that would be notified in future and would have been implemented by the manufacturer in future are real-time tracking, geofencing, and drone rules. However, these features are mandatory at present. Type certification. A drone of a particular make and model needs to have a type certification of its own. Type certification is a qualifying certification from the authorities ensuring that these models can be sold in the market and UIN can be readily issued for manufacturers with approval from foreign regulation. Any manufacturer who has already received an approval from a foreign aviation regulators for his or her drone model may directly apply to the DGCA for a type certification approval. No type certificate is needed for manufacturing a nano drone. Also, a model RPA won't require type certificate. A model RPA is a drone developed for educational, research, design, testing, and recreational purposes only and operated within visual line of sight. Now, for applying type certificate, any manufacturer who wishes to apply for type certificate needs to apply using the form D1 in digital portal. The manufacturer should create a profile on the Digital Sky and as an importer and manufacturer and fill the form D1. After submission of the application, authorized testing and agency would contact you for a physical handover of the prototype. A QCI or authorized testing agency examines the prototypes and submits the test report to DGCA. DGCA receives the test reports and issues the test certificate. The manufacturer receives the type certificate number and can sell the drone in the market. Flying zones. India has been divided into 3 airspace zones based on the sensitivity of the area. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has launched an airspace map of India for drone operations, allowing civilian drone operators to check the no-fly zones and where they need to undergo certain formalities for flying. The map over here is developed by the Map My India and IT service firms Happiest Minds and is put on the DGCA Digital Sky platform. Drone can fly in green zone, not be flown in red zone, and flown with previous clearance in yellow zone. As it can be inferred from the title, operations under the green zone do not require permission from the DGCA, while those in the yellow and red zone are strictly controlled. The interactive airspace map is available on the Digital Sky website. Understandable in dense urban environments, flying a drone is difficult and is associated with high risk. Therefore, most metropolitan cities fall under the red zone and yellow zone. In a green zone, one could fly up to 400 feet without permission. For green zones lying between 8 to 12 kilometers of an airport, one could fly up to 200 feet without permission. Yellow zones and red zones require permission from the nearest air traffic control and central government respectively. Here you can see that the green zone is the airspace from the ground to a vertical distance of 400 feet that you can fly a drone in the green zone without need to permission from a DGCA through Digital Sky. When it comes to yellow zone, it is a controlled airspace. To fly in the yellow zone, we have to need permission from the air traffic control. Yellow zone is actually vertical distance up of 200 feet from 12 kilometers outside the perimeter of operational airport. The provisions of the yellow zone are now applied above 400 feet also. When it comes to red zone, it is restricted airspace where drone operations are not permitted until exceptional circumstances, which follows. Commercial or leisure drones operations in red zone are generally prohibited. You can visit the Ministry of Civil Aviation website, the DGCA website, Digital Sky Platform website, the interactive map of Flying Zone website, MOHA, Ministry of Home Affairs website, Airports Authority of India website, and Indian Drone Regulations, which mentions the Drone Rule 2021. There are a lot of Indian drone manufacturer companies like Paras Aerospace, Redwing Labs, VTOL Aviation India. There is no doubt that a drone market is the fastest growing market in the world. UAV market already has tremendous growth in this perspective. New regulations are made in the market which is more flexible and granting drones a legal status and makes it a market more liberal for youths and startups. By this we come to the end of brief on UAV in India. I hope you would have understood this session. Thank you.